welcome to CX Today. My name is Charlie, I'm the senior editor here, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Sundeep Boughan, Director of Sales Engineering at Puzzel. Sundeep, it's great to have you join us. How are you doing today?
Hi, Charlie. Yeah, very good. Very good. Thank you.
Well, it's great to have you here with us to discuss kind of Get Connected, Puzzle's annual CX event. First of all, when and where is it, and why should our viewers come along?
Yeah, so it's on the 15th of September and it's at the ETC venues in St. Paul's. It's going to be a great event for people to come along and see what Puzzle is talking about in the CX world. We've got some experts from various fields, our partners, and it's just going to be a great event to get some insight into how Puzzle see things in the CX world.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's lots of kind of really great speakers and tech demonstrations also, and kind of chances to network. But there are lots of events in the CX space. Why do you think Get Connected stands out?
Yeah, that's a good question, really. I think what's really interesting is when you get a vendor's perspective of how they see the world, it's really interesting to see how the actual tech stack can help solve some of the challenges of the CX space. I think some events are great and they tend to be quite high level about where the market is going and what's actually happening. But the great thing about Puzzle's event is you'll be able to get some answers to how to solve some of these CX problems. And also by having a mixture of sort of external speakers with some great thought leadership, but also some very real examples, certainly from a compliance perspective, from a payments perspective, from a digital engagement perspective. You get to kind of get the full picture really, and that is, what the potential challenges are, where things are going to go, how we can solve those, and what the answer is moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've visited a Get Connected event in the past, and I can definitely say that was my experience
Mm.
uh, viewing such demonstrations, particularly kind of examples of how kind of I think at the time it was a customer and how it was using sentiment in different ways through the Puzzle platform. I thought that was a really interesting demonstration. I'm sure you've got lots similar up your sleeve this time. But in terms of maybe some of those keynote sessions that are part of the event, kind of which of those featured sessions are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, well, so we have our CEO talking about kind of how Puzzle see the world in the new environment in an anywhere world. So the theme is an anywhere world, and so our CEO kind of done quite a bit of work with some of our bigger customers, some enterprise customers, to see kind of the direction they're going in. We've done a lot of work with our analysts as well to understand kind of what the market is talking about. But I think the keynote from our CEO Frederick is going to be amazing in terms of kind of how we see things and where things are going. I think we've got a great session from Alexander Lundus. So we recently acquired a digital engagement stroke chatbot AI company, and so it's really amazing to see how they're kind of looking at the world moving forward from an AI and an automation perspective, and certainly from a digital engagement perspective, which is I think the part that's kind of missing across a lot of these AI AI offerings. So the ability to kind of see and proactively chat with people on websites prior to them actually going through to a standard bot. So that's really interesting. I think we've got some really good things from our CTO as well. So kind of Thomas Rodsek, who's going to talk about people still buying from people, so the lack of empathy that we're seeing out there. So ultimately, that's a really important message. So it's great to kind of look at the automation. It's great to kind of look at where the world is going, but it's important that we don't forget that ultimately people buy from people. So empathy is really important, and it really sort of hits with that message.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely lots to look forward there, as well as kind of those additional kind of CX influencer and analyst kind of sessions as well. I know kind of people like Martin Hill Wilson, Nerys Corfield
That's
are
right.
also attending. So it sounds like a really good mix of speakers and sessions that you have there. And kind of
Mm.
we've also mentioned a little briefly kind of different sorts of technologies that you will be showcasing. I mean, the digital engagement example that you just gave is a definitely testament to that. Which kind of other products within the Puzzle CCaaS solution are you most looking forward to showing off?
Yeah, so we've got the final presentation or the showcase presentation is through some sales engineers in the UK who are going to be showing actually how to build a digital first contact center. So I think it's great to showcase some of the technologies, but it's great to understand actually how's it all put together because we quite often talk about the utopian state, but we don't always have the insight of well, how do you actually get there? So that's going to be a great session with James and Jeremy who are going to be showing that. There's going to be also a session from PCI Pal, and I think it's really important that we understand things like compliance and security. So as we go to an anywhere world, we kind of forget that actually there's a lot of regulatory things which need to be considered. So that's going to be a great session. You've mentioned also from a technology standpoint, we've got digital engagement kind of being covered, but just coming back to that, it is great to have people like Martin Hill Wilson out there, obviously talking about some of the things, and Neri Cofield talking about some of the important things around the thought leadership stuff to get us to that point of technology and how we implement that.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely lots of really interesting sessions for everybody to kind of go down to London and check out. But kind of one of my final questions now would obviously, it's been a big year for Puzzle, definitely in
Mm.
terms of, I saw a recent Frost and Sullivan report which had you as a kind of top 5 CCaaS vendor in Europe. How will you be celebrating all of this and Get Connected?
Yeah, I think that's great. It's a great point, really. I think one thing that the analysts, Frost and Sullivan, have identified is that there's a lot of vendors out there who are talking about things moving forward and certainly able to provide compelling arguments in specific areas. But one thing I think Puzzle does really well is bring the whole thing together into a single vendor. And one of the things that really celebrates this is the acquisition of this company who showcase the AI digital engagement piece, having partners like PCI Pal who are sort of the best of breed in terms of the from the payment side. We also have Jabber who are also going to be sponsoring the event, and they're going to be there as well. So I think what Puzzle do really well is provide the whole sort of picture, and that's something that a lot of prospects that we speak to, a lot of people in the industry that we speak to, are really interested in, just taking away the headache of having to kind of mix and match things themselves. So one of the ways we're going to be celebrating that is obviously doing this event. So inviting people to come and understand kind of how we see things and where we see things moving into the future, but also showcasing, as I mentioned, how do we put this all together? What does it look like really under the hood of it? So I think one thing that's sort of a bit of a common theme that we'd be talking about is, it's great that we can talk about it, but it's really important that we can show it and give you guys an insight into, how simply we put this together. And I think that's the reason why Get Connected is going to be a great event this year. It's going to be kind of a mixture of everything, but also it's going to be something that you can hopefully come and find some great value with because you're able to see everything kind of from beginning to end.
Absolutely, it sounds very exciting. I guess that leads me to kind of one final question that I can
Yeah.
put to you, Sandeep, and that is where can our viewers go to secure their spot at the event?
Yeah, so we'll send you a link which allows you to kind of save your seat. So we have a landing page which gives you some information about the seats, a schedule for the day, and you're able to book your place there. It also talks about in some detail what the speakers are going to be talking about. So I think there's a lot of people who kind of come and plan their day based on the kinds of events, the kinds of sessions that they want to see. So we'll send out a link, and you guys can click on that link and see kind of what the day looks like, who the speakers are, a bit of background about who they are, and then obviously save your seat by clicking the link.
Excellent. Yeah, it sounds great, and hopefully one of us from CX today might be there as well. But I think that's a
Excellent.
great place to end today's chat. Thank you very much for joining me,
Excellent.
Sandeep,
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
and thank you for everybody for watching. Bye for now.